Hi everyone. So as we missed our class today, I'm going to record our today's lecture. So moving forward to our lecture. We started talking about solving linear equation in our last class. Uh, we started, we learned a little bit how to plot a linear inequality on a number line. So we'll start with these two examples based on the information that we learned in our last class. So at some point in the middle of the number line, I'll write a 0 and then all the positive to the right side up to infinity and then negative on the left up to negative infinity. Now we'll try to spot where the negative 2 is in our number line. And then since we have a strictly less than inequality here, inequality symbol here, and for strictly less than or greater than, we use an open circle and parentheses for interval notation. So on -2, drawing an open circle, and then so open circle and parentheses for interval notation. And y is all the values less than -2. That means it can be -3, -4, -5, up to negative infinity. So this will be the solution region for our inequality. In terms of interval, it will be from the lowest. We write the interval notation from the lowest to highest. The lowest is -infinity to -2. Parentheses, with the infinity, we always use parentheses. And with the -2 here, since it's strictly less than, parentheses. The second one, we have greater than or x greater or equal 7. So let's write some numbers first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to infinity. -1, -2 up to negative infinity. We have our 7 here. And since we have greater than or equal, that means we'll have closed circle and bracket in interval notation. So closed circle and bracket for interval notation. Closed circle on 7, and x going to be all the values greater than 7, right? So this will be our solution region. In terms of interval, starting from the lowest 7 to highest infinity with the bracket parentheses. Right? Now we have some properties of inequalities. So if we have some real numbers a, b, and c, then if we have an inequality a less than b, then if we try to add a number c on both sides of the inequality, then the inequality holds. The same for subtracting c from the both sides. Number 2, if we have a c which is positive, and if we have an inequality a less than b, then if we multiply this inequality, the both sides of the inequality by c, or divide both sides of the inequality by c, then nothing happens with the inequality symbol. But if we have c is a negative number, then on the inequality a less than b, if we multiply both sides of the inequality by c or divide both sides of the inequality by c, then the inequality symbol reversed. Notice that from less than it became now greater than. Once again, if multiplying or dividing by a negative both sides, the direction of the inequality reverse. Right? And all these statements are true for any type of inequality symbol. So here we have our first inequality example. We'll try to solve it. Similar as we do in linear equations, we'll try to isolate the variables and isolate the constant. So adding 24 on both sides, we get 6x greater or equal 36. Let's divide both sides by 6. We'll have x greater or equal 6 is the solution. In terms of interval, x is all the values greater than or equal to 6. So from 6 to infinity, and a bracket with the 6. Right? The next one. We'll start with distribution. So 5w subtract 23 less than negative 9 plus 12w. Now again, we'll isolate all the variable in one side, the constant in other side. So let's subtract 12 from both sides. Okay. Oh, give me 1 second. My pen is almost out of charge. Thank you so much for your patience. All right. So subtracting 12w from both sides, plus adding 23 on both sides as well. So what happens is these get cancelled, right? And these get cancelled. So we have 5w subtract 12w less than negative 9 plus 23. So we have negative 7w less than positive 14. Now we'll divide both sides by negative 7. And we'll have w less than negative 2. But I made a mistake. What is that? I divided both sides by negative 7, a negative number, but I did not reverse the inequality, right? So let's change the inequality symbol to a greater than when dividing by a negative number, okay? Every time we are multiplying our inequality or dividing our inequality by a negative, we need to reverse our inequality symbol. So in terms of interval, w is greater than negative 2, so negative 2 to infinity, parentheses, parentheses. All right. Moving forward, right? Here we have two inequality problems, which says special cases. The first one, let's start with the distribution. So we'll have 12 subtract 4x plus 4x less than 8. Notice that the 4x get cancelled and we get 12 less than 8. Can this be true? Can 12 be less than 8? No, So if we end up with an inequality where no variable left and a wrong statement, what is our solution? No solution. Right? The second one, let's start with the distribution. Negative 5v, negative 15 plus 35 greater than or equal 20 subtract 5v. So we have negative 5v plus 20 greater than or equal to 20 subtract 5v. Let's add 5v on both sides. So cancel, cancel, and we get 20 greater or equal 20. Is this true? Yes, it is. Because we have the inequality symbol greater than or equal. 20 is indeed equal to 20, right? And it's a true statement. So if we end up with a statement where no variable left and the statement is true, then what is our solution? All real numbers. So it means that in terms of interval, it's negative infinity to positive infinity. All right. So these are our two special cases of inequalities. Now moving forward, we are about to start solving linear word problems. The first one we have, the first word problem that we have here. So when solving any word problems, we will follow some steps. The first thing, we'll read the question carefully, and we will assign some variables for what we are trying to solve for, okay? And then we'll try to use this variable and interpret these sentences into mathematical equation and finally solve them, okay? Now here we have Jen, Carlos, and Del have total $109 in their wallet. Carlos have $6 less than Jen. Del has 3 times what Jen has, how much each of them have, right? So again, first of all, we'll assign some variable. So let's say Jen has dollars X, Carlos have dollars Y, Del have dollars Z. So we have assigned some variables. Now we'll use this variable to interpret all this in mathematical equation. So first of all, in total they have 109. So X plus Y plus Z equal $109. Then Carlos have $6 less than Jan. And Carlos, we assigned for Carlos Y. So Y is $6 less than X. And Del has 3 times what Jan has. So del G is 3 times of X. Okay, so we interpreted this problem in terms of mathematical equation using our assigned variables. Now we'll solve them. So in terms of solving, we will use this information here in the first equation. So let's name the first equation as star. And we will use this y and z in the equation star. So, right, substituting x minus 6 and 3x for y and z. Right? And we have here 5x subtract 6 equal 109. Let's add 6 on both sides. So we have 5x equal 115. Let's divide both sides by 5. And we have x equal 23. So that's what Jen has. Now we'll use x equal 23 here and here to find the amount that Carlos and Del have, right? So y equal 23 subtract 6 and z equal 3 times 26. Okay, so this is 17 and there will be $78. All right. Oh, sorry. I plugged in a wrong number here. This is 23, not 26. So we have 3 times 23, right? So 9 and 6. Perfect. So X is $23, Y is $17, Z is $69. All right. Okay. The next one. All follow the same, assign some variable, interpret them in mathematical equation, and solve them. So it says we have three numbers and the sum of them is 70. So let's assign some variable, x, y, z. And their sum is 70. So x plus y plus z equal 70. And the second number is 10 less than the first. So y is 10 less than the first x. And the third is 3 times of the first. So 3 times of the first. So again, we will substitute y and z in the first equation and solve it. So x plus x minus 10 plus 3x equals 70. So we get 5x minus 10 equals 70. Now we'll add 10 on both sides. So we'll have 5x equal 80. Let's divide both sides by 5. So x equal 1 and what's that? 16. Perfect. Now we'll substitute 16 in y and z. So y will be 16 subtract 10 equals 6. Z will be 3 times 16, which is 48. So we have x equals 16, y equals 6, z equals 48. All right. So the third one, we'll follow the steps again. So it says a total 288 tickets were sold in a school play. There were either adult tickets or student tickets. So two types of tickets, right? So let's assign variables. Number of adult. X. Number of student. Y. Okay, now let's interpret in terms of mathematical equation. In total, they have 288. So x plus y is 288. And the number of student tickets sold were 2 times the number of adult. That means y equal 2 times x. Now we'll use this y equal 2 times x here. So x plus 2x equal 288. Right? So we get 3x equal 288. And now we'll divide both sides by 3. Right? And so we get x equal 96. The question wants us to find how many adult tickets were sold. So it's not necessary to find how many student tickets has been sold, but we'll find that anyway. So y will be 2 times 96 which is 192. Right? Perfect. Now, finally, our last question. We have a word problem which says the length area. So let's say if we have a rectangle with L and W being length and width, then the area formula for any rectangle is L times W, the length times the width, right? And the perimeter is 2L plus 2W. The formulas are given. Now, the question says the length of the rectangle is 4 inches longer than its width. So length is 4 inches longer than the W. And the perimeter is, the rectangle is 40 inch. That means 2L plus 2W equal 40 inch. Now, we will use this L here. So 2 times W plus 4 plus 2W equal 40. Distributing 2W plus 8 plus 2W equal 40. So 4W plus 8 equal 40. Subtracting 8 from both sides, 4W equal 32. Dividing both sides by 4, we get W equal 8. Now we'll find the L by substituting W equal 8 here. L will be 8 plus 4, which is 12. So we'll have our L, which is 12 inch. We have our W, which is 8 inch. Now we'll use them to find the area. So area will be L times W, which is 12 times 8, which is 96 inch square. So A is 96 inch square. That's it. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions on this lecture, on any confusion, let me know. So, as I announced, the homework will be extended up to Tuesday, so that if you have any question on this lecture, you can ask me on Monday. On Monday, I have my office hour as well. So you can stop by my office hour with any questions or any help. In class Monday, though, we'll start our new topic for the homework too. Okay? So please let me know for any questions, and I'll see you all on Monday. Thank you.